Hey folks, welcome to the channel. I'm Don. This is Rockin' the Country. I'm looking forward to this one, and I was surprised that I had not reacted or reviewed this song by Joe Nichols, because I've been a big fan of Joe Nichols. I've spoken with Joe Nichols. He was performing in Long Island, and before the show, quite a bit, even before rehearsal, I went out there for a different thing and spoke with him a little bit. And he's a good dude. Joe's just a good dude. And I told him I was working on a project for 9/11 at the time, and I told him that this song itself was part of the inspiration for my project. Because he asked, and I won't tell you about the project, not now, but maybe another time. But this song is a gift request of Montauk Ed. So naturally, once in a while, when I think of it, when I'm mindful of it, I'll throw this on that my surrogate daughter Lex gave me a few years ago. This song is The Impossible. And this is a review because I know this song and I've loved this song. I haven't heard it in a bit. Here we go. Joe's one of those artists that has the traditional feel in contemporary Nashville.
Dad chased monsters from the dark. He checked underneath my bed, and he could lift me with one arm way up over top his head. He could loosen rusty bolts with a quick turn of his wrench. He pulled splinters from his hand and never even flinched. In 13 years I'd never seen him cry, but the day that Grandpa died, I realized unsinkable ships sink, unbreakable walls break. Sometimes the things you think would never happen just like that. Unbendable steel bends if the fury of the wind is unstoppable. I've learned to never underestimate the impossible.
That seems 11 agree.
Then there was my junior year. Billy had a brand new car. It was late, the road was wet. I guess the curve was just too sharp. I walked away without a scratch. They brought the helicopter in. Billy couldn't feel his legs. He said he'd never walk again, but Billy said he would, and his mom and daddy prayed. And the day we graduated, he stood up to say, unsinkable ships sink, unbreakable walls break. Sometimes the things you think would never happen just like that. Unbendable steel bends if the fury of the wind is unstoppable. I've learned to never underestimate the impossible. So don't tell me that it's over. Don't give up on you and me, 'cause there's no such thing as hopeless if you believe. Unsinkable ships sink, unbreakable walls break. Sometimes the things you think would never happen just like that. Unbendable steel bends if the fury of the wind is unstoppable. I've learned to never underestimate the impossible.
got to be in it to win it. And I'm not talking about the lottery. I'm talking about in a relationship. Like if you're in one and it's going south, you got to fight to be in it. You got to compromise. Try to see things from another person's view. All these things, but you got to be in it, right? And there are no guarantees that it's going to work, but you got to be in it. You got to do your part in a sense to fight and manifest in a sense what Joe is talking about. And then like in a relationship, let's say, you know, I'm writing a book now on marriage and divorce. And so that's kind of on my mind, that aspect of relationships when they don't work. But you got to fight for it. At least you know you laid it out there. It's still going to hurt. You know, whether you initiated a divorce or not, or a relationship breakup, or the other person did, it's going to hurt no matter how, because breakups just do. But the car accident scene, I don't know who wrote this, you know. It might have been Joe or part of it. But the thing about his friend being helicoptered out of the car accident, Billy, I think his name was in the song, had a new car. I don't think it was a Mustang, but in my brain it was a blue Mustang. I don't know why. I probably just filled that piece in for myself. But crashed, the turn was too tight, crashed. He walked out without a scratch, and you're thinking that's the end of it. But his buddy was helicoptered out. They said he'd never walk, and he stood up at high school graduation. That sounds like a real story. It could have been made up, of course, but it sounds like a real part of it. The line in the song that was one of the three parts to the inspiration behind a project I was working on for a couple of years that I haven't given up on it yet either, to parallel the song. I wanted to have basically what I was dubbing like a national guitar made. And I wanted strings made from steel made from the fallen towers. Guitar strings, and I wanted, you know, somebody to craft the guitar body, and then the strings were going to be made of steel. I had everything lined up. I had the string manufacturer. I had a lot of people who would have made the guitar. I spoke with the 9/11 folks at the 9/11 Museum. I spoke with the new owner's office of the Freedom Tower and the various places that manufactured the steel for the Twin Towers before they fell. And I spoke with so many people, made all the right connections, had everything lined up. I just couldn't procure a piece of steel because it had all been offloaded either to China. Most of it was sold to China at $120 a ton. During the cleanup effort, they had to find a place to put it, so they sold it. The only piece of steel, the only piece of anything left was a cop car that was like ruined during it. And that was I think it was Hangar 17 at JFK Airport. And that's where they were keeping a lot of the stuff. But either that wasn't the right steel, or it was going to be too difficult for me to get that. Just to take a little piece and smelt it in with other steel. And they were going to make strings out of it for the family members to either play or on special occasions like Memorial Day, Veterans Day, 9/11 Memorial, for artists conceivably like Alan Jackson or whomever to play songs appropriate to the occasion on the guitar. And I met with Joe Nichols, like I said in the beginning, and I met with him out in Long Island before he was going to do a show. And I told him that he asked me, like, how did the idea even come about? And I said, well, you were part of it. I said, unbendable steel bends. I'm in Jersey, so the Twin Towers were right there. I knew families. We all knew somebody who had died in the assault. And then I forget what the other part was. It had something to do with Miranda Lambert, something in Miranda. But in any case, I got the idea for it, and it was a crazy idea, just like he said. And just like Tommy Carlos said in the prior song, go for it in a way, you know, take some risks. And I'm like, this is crazy, but I'm going to go for it. I had the press lined up for the different parts of the press lined up, but I still haven't given up on it. But all that said, it's impossible, but go for it in ways. You know, don't be crazy. Have some substance to your ideas, to your beliefs, but go for it. So, Ed, oh yeah, Ed, of course, you got me. Got you. You'd think I'd see Montauk on the camera. You and Jeff Cath are on the same page today, basically with the advisory type songs, the good advice within the songs. But I've always loved this song. The way Joe sings it, the heart behind it, it's a moving song. It's just that simple. It's not oversold. It's just right there. So the number on this one that popped into my head is a 9.2. I just have always liked this song. It's impossible not to. The impossible. So, Ed, my friend, thank you for getting my wheels turning again, as you do. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.